Hi, it's Amy. So over the last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of work involving creating boundaries to make safe spaces, whether that be at home, your workspace, or maybe even a space you have dedicated to spiritual work like I do. We've been using a lot of salt, and yes, I mean that salt, and herbs as well to create these mixtures. Each one has been tailor made for a specific purpose. So, if you're dealing with clients that have got certain types of paranormal activity going on at home, these particular salts can help just erect a nice boundary around their space and help kind of filter out the more negative, essentially. Now, salt has been used around the globe by, so many different cultures for thousands of years. It has brilliant purifying excuse me, purifying and protective properties. And I find it is a really, really efficient method. It's definitely one of my favourite methods to use. Ideally, before this, you'd want to do a little bit either a smudging or some kind of cleansing of your space. That can be either, like I said, with, sage, Palo Santo, maybe even sound, crystals, anything like that. And then you would ideally then make your salt and then lay it down. So I'll be doing a little bit of that as we go along. And I hope you enjoy it. So this is my anti-elemental mix. Now this is sea salt, which is in the perfect size jug I found. I found it in a charity shop and I was over the moon because it fills my pots up to the perfect amount. I have common garden sage, which is great because it dispels negativity, but it also erects a barrier of psychic protection. So it's really, really good if, you're sensitive to spiritual energies. Now this is where the magic happens. So this is caraway seeds. Now I use probably about that many caraway seeds, roughly, for each of my pots. Now, caraway seeds are good because they push elementals out of a space, but they also protect against evil and negative spirits and entities in general. So it's pretty damn powerful stuff. And this is one that I would usually use if a client is dealing with an elemental which is very volatile and kind of wreaking havoc within their own home or their workspace. So I'm going to grind them up in the pestle and mortar now. And then I'm not going to film that because it gets a bit tedious, but then I'll show you afterwards what it looks like. So this is my anti-elemental boundary mix. It's what it looks like. I like to kind of grind my salt up so it's halfway between fine and a little bit chunky as well. I have to label everything because otherwise I'd lose my mind, especially when I have loads of different salt and herb mixtures knocking around. So that's what it looks like. And I'll be honest, this one actually smells really nice as well. So like I say, it comes up with the perfect amount for my pots. These are just old herb pots that I use and recycle so I can store my salts in, and that's that one. So this is my pink Himalayan salt boundary mix, and this is one I use very much kind of at home and within my own working space here. So I use pink Himalayan salt. I use rose, which is great because it encourages feelings of love and works within the heart chakra energy. It's great for representing women's intuition as well. Always comes from a place of love, rose does, so it's nice. We also have common garden sage, which, as I've mentioned before, dispels negativity and creates psychic protection boundary around you. We also have some cloves, which is fantastic for protecting against negative energy in general. It also cleanses your space and promotes inner healing. And then I always chuck in a few poppy seeds. Because this is my workspace, I will always chuck something in which not only invites in positivity, but can also draw in a bit of luck, a little bit of money, because like I say, this is where I earn my living and this is where I do my work. So that's roughly about the amount I'll use for each one. I always use plenty of rose in this one. So I'm going to grind it up in the pestle and mortar and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. I have a moth just crawling around on my desk. I don't think it quite knows what it wants to do. Fly. No, okay. So we've got this is the pink Himalayan salt boundary mix. Now, it kind of looks quite pretty, actually, and it smells divine. This is one that I really like working with. So, as I mentioned before, there's the different herbs that go into it. And again, I've kind of done a mix of powdery and kind of chunky as well. So this is one which I will be, using within my own space. I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to do that as well. So, yeah.